Hi Senior Stage, this is JP. Today we're going to solve equations with fractions. Hope you'll enjoy this. Alright, so if I start by asking you what's the big difference? What's the main difference between simplifying a fraction like x over 2 plus x over 3 plus by 2 and solving a fraction like question 2 there, x over 2 plus x over 3 is equal to 2? Well, of course, there's an obvious part where the one's an equation, there's an equal sign, the other one not. But what's the big difference between solving fractions of these? Let's do these two questions at the same time, and hopefully this will give you some idea. In both of these equations, we're going to find the lowest common denominator, right? It's the lowest multiple of those denominators, okay? So let's go for it. So the first equation is x over 2 plus x over 3 plus by 2 over 1. What's the lowest common denominator of 2, 3, and 1? That, of course, will be 6. Yes, 2 can divide into 6. It's the smallest number that 2 can divide into, and 3 can divide into, and 1 can divide into. So that will be 6. So you can put each of those fractions with so you can write them as a denominator of 6. So in other words, here what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 3 by the top and the bottom. Remember what your primary school teacher, but you do to the bottom, you do to the top. And why is that legal? Because 3 divided by 3 is actually just 1, right? You're just multiplying that fraction by 1. So that is equal to then 3 times x, that is 3x. The next one, we want to multiply, what do we need to multiply 3 with to get to 6? So 2, of course. And 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that will be 2x. And then the last part, what do I need to multiply 1 with to get to 6? That will be 6. So, and then 6 plus by 2 is equal to 12. So therefore, if we're going to answer this question, then that is going to be 3x plus by 2x. The denominators are the same, right? So we can add the numerators, plus by 12. Are there any like terms there? Yes. 3x plus 2x are like terms, so that's 5x. 5x plus by 12 over 6. Okay, so let's look at the question 2 on the right hand side there. So x over 2 plus x over 3 is equal to 2. So we're going to do the same thing. We want all those denominators to be the same. So again, the first part, we're going to multiply that by 3 and 3 over 3, right? We're going to multiply x over 2 by 3 over 3. Why? Because then we're going to get 3x over 6. Okay, we want a lowest common denominator of 6. And the next part, we're going to multiply x over 3 by 2 over 2. Right, so like we just did now. So that will be 2 over 2 over, x over 3. And then we're going to multiply, so that in other words is going to become 2x over 6. So nothing really, there's no big differences. You see we've got the 3x over 6, 3x over 6, and we've got the 2x over 6, 2x over 6. And then lastly, we're going to multiply, so 2 is 2 over 1, of course. And so what do we need to multiply 2 with to get a denominator of 6? So that in other words is going to be, so it's 2 over 1. We're going to multiply that with a 6 over 6. So therefore that is going to equal to 12 over 6. Okay, great. Now the thing is, in question 2 there, all those denominators are the same. So what can I do to every fraction? I can multiply or divide the same thing to every single term. So I can actually multiply every single term here by 6, right? So 6 times by 3x over 6 plus by 6 times by 2x over 6 is equal to 6 over 12 over 6. Do you agree with that? Well, that's legal, right? As long as I do it, if I multiply something or divide, I need to divide or multiply to every single term. And then what we get is 6 divided by 6 is 1, so we get 3x. 6 divided by 6 is 1, we get 2x. 6 divided by 6 is 1, we get 12. Okay. Ooh, which is exactly the same as what? It's exactly the same as just all those numerators. So, a lot of people say the denominator just falls away. That's absolutely nonsense. They don't just fall away. What happens? The denominator is all the same, so therefore we can get the numerators equal to each other because dividing all by 6 is the same as timesing by 6, and then it all balances out. So therefore we've got 5x is equal to 12. That means we can divide both terms by 5. 12 divided by 5. Therefore x is going to equal to 12 over 5. 12 divided by 5. Alright, so that's the big difference. So if some of you look like this now, seriously, what happened? Don't worry. We're going to do a lot of these examples together, so just listen to all these videos, or watch these videos. Okay, so let's tackle the first one here. 2x over 3 minus 1 is equal to x over 2. So first of all, we want to get rid of those nasty rascal denominators. So what is the lowest common denominator? So another way to write this question is 2x minus 3 minus 1 over 1 is equal to x over 2. So the lowest common denominator here, again, would be 6. To find that, you ask yourself, what is the smallest number that 3 can divide into, 1 can divide into, and 2 can divide into? Right, and that, of course, in this case, would be 6. Alright, I'll show you an alternative soon. So what we do now is we want all those denominators to be the same. Okay, so therefore we want each of these to be over 6. Right, all the denominators to be over 6, to be 6. So, but then we can't just do that. We're not Harry Potter. We can't just turn them into 6. How do we turn them into 6? What do I need to multiply 3 with to get to 6? 2. But then I need to multiply the top by 2 as well, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then actually we didn't do anything. All is legal. So what do you multiply by 1 to get to 6? Well, 6, but we also need to multiply the numerator. Otherwise, it's not balancing. Something is wrong. That's corruption for you. So what do we multiply by the denominator to get to 6? 3. So also multiply the top. Okay, so therefore, the first one, 2 times by 2x is 4x. Second one, 6 times by 1, 6. And the next one, 3 times x is 3x. Okay, so they all have the same denominators. Now I don't care if you say the denominators falls away. They don't fall away, but we can now let the numerators equal to each other. 4x minus 6 is equal to 3x. Why is that the case? Just again quickly, because I can multiply every single term here by the same number, by 6, right? And then 6 divided by 6 is 1, 6 divided by 6 is 1, 6 divided by 6 is 1, and you're just left with the numerators. They don't fall away. It's okay, so that's what happens. Okay, now we just, like normal, you just solve it. So therefore 4x minus 3x is going to equal to 6. That means 1x is equal to 6. That would mean if I would substitute 6 into all those values of x into there, 6 into there, and 6 into there, that's the only value for which my left hand side will equal to the right hand side. Okay, let's look at another one. So 3/4 times by x minus 1 is equal to 1/3 times by 2x minus 1. There's a couple of ways we can write this. We can also write this as 3 times x minus 1 divided by 4 is equal to 1 times by 2x minus 1 over 3. You decide what is easiest for you. Okay, so we've got a 4 and a 3. Doesn't matter which one you use, but a 4 and a 3. So my lowest common denominator, what's the smallest number that 4 can divide into and 3 can divide into, that is equal to 12. So therefore, we want both of those denominators to be 12. Right, so this should be 12 and that should be 12. And how do I get to 12? Well, I need to multiply this whole baby here by 3, but I need to multiply 3 on top as well. Okay, why on top as well? Otherwise, we only multiply the bottom by 3. That means you're timesing it by 1/3. I mean, you can't, just, if I've got 6 wives, or whether I've got, divide that by 3, but I've got 2 wives, I mean, I'm in trouble in both ways. I mean, that's just not right. You can't have just 3 times more. So you need to multiply the top and the bottom. Okay, so that, and the other side, yeah, we need to put over 12, so you're going to multiply the bottom by 4 and the top by 4. Alright, so let's go for it. So on the first one there, 3 times by 3 is 9 times by x minus 1. And on the right hand side there, we've got 4 times by 2x minus 1. Okay, that's good stuff. Therefore, we can now say 9x minus 1 is equal to 4 times by 2x minus 1, because those denominators are the same. In other words, you can multiply 12 to every single term, so therefore the numerators are equal. So that means 9x minus 9 is going to equal to 8x minus 4. That means 9x minus 8x, minus 8x on both sides. You should supposed to do this quickly by now, and you add 9 on both sides, so therefore 1x is going to equal to 5. And again, what the hell does that mean? That means if I substitute 5 into those x's, that's the only x value for which the left hand side answer will equal to my right hand side answer. If we have a question like this, 3 times x minus 7 over 4 is equal to minus 9. So you've got a choice. I'm going to do this question in two different ways. The one way is where you get the denominators the same, and the other one is we just get rid of those nasty fractions. So, okay, the first one. So denominator is the same. So we've got 3x minus 7 over 4, okay? What's the lowest common denominator going to be? It should be over 4, all right? So, but, you know, we can't just times the, get it over 4. What does that mean? So it's currently minus 9 over 1. So that means I need to multiply this by 4 over 4, right? Because then we actually multiplied by 1. So therefore we've got 3x minus 7 over 4 is equal to 4 times by 9 is minus 9 over 4, right? That then means that 3 times by x minus 7 is equal to 4 times by minus 9. So that means that 3x minus 21 is equal to negative 36. Okay, so that means 3x is equal to negative 36 plus by 21, 21 on both sides. So that means 3x is going to equal to minus 36 plus by 21 is equal to negative 15, and you divide by 3 on both sides. So what is 3x divided by 3 and what is negative 15 divided by 3? That means that x is going to equal to negative 5. So that's one way to do it. Another way to approach this problem is if you just said, okay, that divide by 4 is really irritating me. I can just get that divide by 4 away. Life will be much easier. So what's the opposite of dividing by 4? Timesing by 4. But if I times by 4, I must times it on 4 on both sides. So times by 4 there, times by 4 there. Okay, because that's legal, right? Nothing strange. Yeah? So you times by 4 on both sides to every single term. So what is 4 divided by 4? 4 divided by 4 is, well, that's 1, right? So therefore we've got 3x minus 7, which is of course right, because we want to, what's the opposite of dividing by 4 times by 4? That's why we did it. And what is 4 times by minus 9? Negative 36. Do you see then? We get to that step here. Okay, just much quicker. So 3x minus 21 is equal to negative 36. Same story, 3x is then equal to negative 36 plus 21. And, and then you just work your way up to you get, again, x is equal to negative 5. Okay, let's look at this question. X over 3 minus x over 5 is equal to 2. So the lowest common denominator of 3, 5, and 1 will equal to be 15. So if we're going to do it by lowest common denominator, so you're going to say, well, I want to put them all over 15, right? It's equal to that over 15. So therefore, what do I need to multiply 3 with to get to 15? I need to multiply it with 5. And 5 over 5, right? Because we're just multiplying it by 1. And what do I need to multiply 5 to get to 15? That will be 3, but multiply upstairs as well, because 3 divided by 3 is 1. Everything is fine. And for last part, what do I need to multiply 1 to get to 15? Well, 15, and also multiplying it upstairs. Alright, so what do we have then? We've got 5 times x there is 5x, and 3 times by x, 3x, and then we've got 15 times by 2, which is equal to 30. So that means we've got 5x minus 3x is equal to 30. Alright, what's 5x minus 3x? That's equal to 2x. 2x is equal to 30. That means divide both sides by 2. 30 divided by 2, x is equal to 15. And then you can just double check if that answer makes sense. I won't advise it with this question, but you could have gone this way as well. So x over 3 minus x over 5 is equal to 2. So first of all, you might consider, okay, I want to get rid of this divide by 3. What's the opposite of dividing by 3? Multiplying every single term by 3. Right, so in other words, this is like multiplying that term by 3, multiplying that term, the next term by 3, x over 5, and multiplying the last term by 3, which is equal to 2. So that then means that you've got x minus 3x over 5 is equal to 6. And then the next part is, okay, I want to get this divided by 5 away. So multiply every single term by 5. Okay, so we can go, well, 5, oops, that's a terrible 5. 5 times by x here. And then we can go 5 times by that, 3x over 5. And then we can get 5 times by 6. Alright, so that is 5x minus 5 divided by 5 is 1, minus 3x is equal to 30. And that's then again 2x is equal to 30, x is equal to 15. Alright, choose a strategy that works for you. Alright, last question. X minus 1 over 3 is equal to x plus 1 over 4. So we can see the lowest common denominator here is going to equal to 12. So that would mean if we want to get the denominators the same, so that over 12 and that over 12, we would need to multiply this by 4 and multiply the same upstairs. And that would mean we need to multiply this by 3 over 3, right? So therefore we're going to get 4 times by x minus 1, and there we're going to get 3 times by x plus by 1. So that would mean it is 4x minus 4, right? You just expand, and there we're going to get that over 12, and that is equal to 3 times by x plus 1, which is equal to 3x plus by 3 over 12. The denominators are the same, so therefore the numerators are equal, so therefore 4x minus 4 is equal to 3x plus by 3. So that means 4x minus 3x, you minus 3x on both sides, and then you add 4 on both sides, so that means 1x is going to equal to 7.